Out front with me now, a Republican representative from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn. She is a Donald Trump supporter. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Kate.
So you have Steve Bannon. I mean, Kyung laid it out. Steve Bannon, Roger Ailes, Newt Gingrich, Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump himself. With the histories that they have, are these the right guys to help Trump prosecute this case when they have similar histories against the guy they want to attack?
Well, I have to tell you, I think the thing to do right now is to talk about the issues. And you have all of this, the he said, she said on the Clinton side, the he said, she said on the Trump side. And I think that what the American people want to hear, and what I've heard from so many of my constituents today, Kate, is they want to hear about why are we giving up control of the internet? What is happening with the deal with Iran, with the new revelations? What is going on today in Aleppo? What happened with the Clinton Foundation and the reports that are coming out about that? Are we going to get those 33,000 emails? The House had to do an additional hearing yesterday on the issue, or day before yesterday, with James Comey. And these are the things that
these are issues in the campaign.
They want to hear about.
These are issues in the campaign, but it's interesting. I mean, what I'm hearing from you is exactly that talking point memo that the campaign has put out to surrogates. But it's also interesting that Donald Trump is not following the campaign's talking points. He's the one that woke up this morning and decided to attack this Miss Universe, this former Miss Universe again. Why isn't Donald Trump following your lead?
Well, I, first of all, have not received a talking points memo from the campaign, just so that you know that. Secondly, why he is not, I do not know. I would be focusing on the issues. I think that's what people want to hear. They do not want the back and forth. Quite frankly, they don't care, and I think the more he talks about Bill and Hillary's relationship, the more you make Hillary a victim. And I would say move away from it and let's talk about the issues. We are getting ready to lose control of the internet. ICANN is going to go to the multi-stakeholder process, and it is going to happen at the stroke of midnight tonight. That is what my constituents in Tennessee are talking about most today.
Well, in this latest poll that just came out, Congresswoman, you have Hillary Clinton. She's beating Donald Trump 20 points with female voters, and that's been where a lot of the conversation has been, obviously, in the last week. 20 points. How do you make up ground there?
What you have to do is focus on the two issues that women are talking about most. First is national security, very concerned about terrorism, very concerned about ending illegal entry of drugs, heroin, opioids across that southern border. That is an enormous issue. And you look at states like New Hampshire, Kate, that's one of the top issues.
But she's leading in New Hampshire right now in the latest poll that just came out post-debate.
Right, and 2 weeks ago it was a one-point race. So you go back to focusing on those issues. You talk about jobs in the economy. Wage stagnation has been very hurtful to women over the past 5 or 6 years. And when I'm doing town halls and listening sessions, or maybe meeting with a group of business women, I hear about this all the time. When I am visiting a factory or an employer, a large employer, and meeting with women, they talk about wage stagnation and their frustration there. They talk about Obamacare and the impact of cost of insurance and also the cost of care and how that affects their disposable income. I like the fact that child care, you know, there should be more emphasis on that. Donald Trump rolled out a great plan looking at having a tax credit that women can select and elect to use, and actually write off some of that expense.
Donald Trump talked about that child care tax credit tonight. One other thing that he talked about tonight, he again started returning to this conversation of being concerned that the election was going to be rigged. Not talking about a mic here, we're talking about the election. He says it would be a bad way to go down, and really doing a wink, wink, nod, nod to the crowd he was before. Do you think the election's going to be rigged?
My hope would be that it would not, and I know that there were some counties last time around. Florida had a couple of counties. Ohio had some counties where you had more than the registered number of voters actually voting. And that is a state issue. And our state and local election commissions are tasked with cleaning up those rolls. There were reports today that there was one county, and I'm not remembering where it was, Kate, but they had a lot of people that were being registered, forms that were coming in on voter registration, and people people were deceased. And that's the type thing that
I'll have
ought
to look
not
into
to
that
be
one.
happening.
But it is,
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that Donald Trump only brings up the question of a rigged system when he's down in the polls and when he's lost a debate.
I think the thing to do is focus on the issues. People want specifics, especially women. They're wanting to hear specifics. How are you going to deal with terrorism? How are you going to deal with jobs growth? How are you going to deal with making certain that our military families, like my constituents at Fort Campbell, have everything they need to do the job at hand? How are we? Yeah,
we'll
this
see if
is
Donald
what they want to
Trump.
know.
We'll see if Donald Trump takes your advice, because that's not where that's not where he's allowed his focus to be the last.
Well, I will
few
tell
days.
you, I am more worried about what Hillary Clinton will do or has done than I am about what Donald Trump says.
All right. I think you should also be worried about what Donald Trump says, because that also leads to what he would do if he is president. Congresswoman, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Out front next, the video of Donald Trump the campaign did not want you to see. What's so damaging about it? And a stern warning from CIA Director John Brennan. America's enemies plotting to take advantage of the U.S. election. We have a special report ahead.